those consulting fees and that business model is what led me to get in the equipment business in late 1997 and early 1998. And what happened is we had about 150 customers at the time that were consulting clients of ours that we were doing local phone service for, long distance, internet, and frame relay type networks. We got a little bit in the wireless phone business, not real deep. And we built great relationships with these customers. They trusted us. We did a good job for them. We showed them savings, but they wanted to use those savings to invest in PBX equipment. Either they wanted to buy a new PBX system, they wanted to upgrade their existing system, add functionality like voicemail, whatever the case may be. And they came to us and said, can you refer us somewhere? Can you help us with this? And at that point, we were saying, hey, we're just consultants. We just deal with services. We can give you some names and phone numbers of some traditional phone vendors. And we did. But in the end, that really didn't work out good for us or for our client. It was not the same type of relationship. It wasn't the same type of consulting approach. There wasn't the same alignment of interest. Generally speaking, it was very commission-oriented salespeople that were there to promote whatever their product or service was that they made commission on or a spiff on that day, and not necessarily what was best for the client. And so in 1997, 1998, I had 3 consulting clients of ours approach me and say, hey, listen, we have a great relationship with you guys. We trust you. You know our business. You know our telecom. We don't care what kind of phone systems you sell, but if you sell phone systems, we'll buy one tomorrow. I had 3 customers come to me. And so then that was a challenge to me to go find what kind of PBX system do I want to become a vendor of.
Right.
And so I looked high and low at all the traditional options, Avaya, Lucent, whatever it was at that time, Nortel, Toshiba, a lot of great phone systems out there. But at that time, late 1997, early 1998, was really when the evolution of the server-based PBX was becoming hot. When you could basically take a phone system and put it on a traditional computer chassis and give the client, the end user, a little more control than they had before, and also provide them with some new features like voice over IP and auto attendance and voicemail, things that they'd have to piece and part together previously all in one box. And after doing an extensive amount of research, I decided to become a dealer for the Altigen product. Altigen is a server-based PBX. They're a company based in San Jose, California. They've now been around for about 12 years. They were just getting ready to go public in, I think, 1997. And I was one of Altigen's very first dealers in the early days. And so I started a sister company to PCG to strictly deal with the PBX side of the business. And at first we thought that we would strictly sell phone systems to consulting clients as sort of an add-on service, just a complimentary service. But very quickly realized that there was a huge pent-up demand for phone systems out there and for a good phone vendor that could do something from a consulting standpoint as well. Look at the customer's business application, find out what's the best solution for the customer, and not necessarily what's the best incentive for us to sell from a commission or a profit standpoint.
Right.
And so I built essentially an advanced phone interconnect company around the Altigen product, where not only we sold the phone system, but we created a very unique training program. We were the only Altigen authorized training center in the entire United States. We did a 2-day administrator training program right here at our offices in Fort Collins, Colorado, that was wildly successful. Even other Altigen dealers sold our training program under a white label program. We also did tech support, and we did Altigen installations all over the country. We ended up growing to have an office in Dallas and another one in Atlanta, as well as our headquarters here in Fort Collins, Colorado. And over a fairly short period of time, the business grew rapidly. We had great people. We had about 600 PBX Altigen installations under our belt. And sort of serendipitously, unexpectedly, if you will, I had a private equity group want to purchase the company. And so in 2004, I sold the Altigen dealership and signed a non-compete agreement that kept me out of the business for a few years. But now that non-compete has expired, and we are ironically back in the building where it all started. I was fortunate enough to make the lease on the building to the buyers the same duration as my non-compete agreement. So when that non-compete came up for expiration, I knew I was passionate about the telecom business and got bored from taking a few years off and wanted to get myself back in it. So here we are today.
Wow, that's a great story.